Every NBA game is a test for players. The best basketball players can think on their feet and make the right play even when they're under a lot of pressure. Some players give up when it counts. Players on a national stage made big mistakes and look stupid sometimes, just like you and I do. It might be fun to watch players make mistakes. It proves that we're all people. To stay sane, we have to make sure that the players aren't just machines. Most of the time, these dumbs don't last long in the league. The best players almost never do these things. They're embarrassing, and anyone can have them. Everyone makes mistakes, but they are worse on a court in front of a lot of people. So, let's look into the dumbest moments in the NBA. Number 10. Tony Allen misses a layup 4 times. Tony Allen is known as one of the best guards in the NBA. He has been on 3 different first-team defenses and 2 different second-team defenses. He's never been a great scoring player in the league. If you don't believe me, look at this play. The first shot was obviously wrong. As if that wasn't funny enough, he gets his own rebound, goes up again, either gets blocked or misses. A teammate takes the rebound and passes it back to him, and what does he do? Again, he fails. He gets his own second chance, and just for good measure, he misses the last shot. This is definitely the dumbest and worst play in the history of the NBA. Number 9. Byron Mullins throws pass off his teammate's head. In 2011-2012, the Bobcats had the worst season in NBA history because they made a lot of bad choices. The Bobcats as a whole are like Byron Mullins, and this play shows that. In a game against the Heat, Byron Mullins lines up to shoot, then hesitates, throws a laser off a teammate's head, and the ball goes out of bounds. The other player was taken by surprise. It looked for a moment like it might go in the basket, but it would be too good to be true and too hard for the Bobcats to pull off. I wouldn't expect anything less than a touchdown from a team like the Warriors. Number 8. Andrea Bargnani tries to make a poster dunk. Even though Andrea Bargnani was picked first overall, that doesn't mean he's a great dunker. He might have thought he was a better player than he was on the court. At the start of the play, he did a good pump fake to get the defender off his feet. He then struck the defender's hip and went hard to the basket, but that play didn't go as planned. He ran into defense while he was in the air. He lost control of his body, missed the dunk horribly, and fell to the ground. The only good thing about this play was that he got 2 free throws, but that doesn't make up for the shame he felt. The 2 free throws are over, but this play will be remembered for a long time. Number 7. Brian Scalabrine passes to no one. Brian Scalabrine may have done the dumbest thing ever in the NBA. He gave the ball to the other team after taking it from his own partner, who was standing 2 feet in front of him. Not only did he miss his partner, but the ball also went to the other team. It looked like he did it on purpose, but he was probably just not paying attention. No one knows why he did what he did, but it looked silly. Even worse, it turned out to be a goal for the Trailblazers. This act is so bad that no one can figure out what he was thinking. Scal was not there. Maybe it was about what he ate that night before or something else that had nothing to do with the game. He must have been up in the air for a while. Because of plays like these, Scal has been a fan choice for a long time. Number 6. JaVale McGee falling shot. This list also includes JaVale McGee. This time, it's not because he missed free throws, but because his falling shot was so good. Shacked in a Fool should be called the JaVale McGee Show, because he's on it so often. McGee played for the Nuggets at the time, and it's not surprising that he didn't stay with them for long. He often did things like this. McGee started this terrible sequence with a move behind his back that looked great until he lost control of the ball, started to wobble, and decided that the best thing to do was to throw the ball at the basket. He missed the whole basket though, so he had to throw the ball out of bounds from the half-court line. All around, it was a bad show. Who wants their center to pass the ball up like that? Number 5. Bulls forget an inbounder. In a game against the Knicks, all 5 Bulls players moved to make space for the inbounder to pass the ball in. They didn't even know they didn't have an inbounder until an embarrassed player came up to tell them. Tom Thibodeau couldn't do anything but laugh and smile. When the best players in the world forget how to pass the ball, it can be pretty funny. This seems like something that would happen in a middle school game, not an NBA game. I'm not sure if it was a player or the coach who did something wrong, but they should have known all along the way that the ball wasn't going to come in on its own. The referee just stood there with the ball and waited for them to figure it out. Number 4. Brandon Knight throws the ball out of bounds. Brandon Knight could make a highlight reel of all the bad things that have happened in his career. Brandon Knight has been dunked on and had his legs broken by Kyrie Irving in the Rising Stars game, so he's seen it all. These things didn't make the list though, because they weren't dumb plays. Knight did something stupid when he played for the Bucks against the Pacers. Knight jumped into the air, but he wasn't sure if he should pass or shoot, so he threw the ball out of bounds. About 3 times while the player was in the air, he changed his mind, which gave the idea that he was having a seizure. Knight's best trait is that he keeps putting on his shoes every night and is a really good player. Number 3. Lamar Odom forgets to pass the ball in. Lamar Odom is not one of the players who gets a lot of attention for moving out of bounds. In fact, it's the opposite of that. He dribbled the ball out of bounds, which caused a mistake. What do I mean by that? He was out of bounds and ready to pass the ball in, but he did it himself by dribbling it in. The official stopped him right away. He probably knew that he made such a simple and stupid mistake. I'm sure he won't do that again though. Most likely, you'll only make that mistake once. I would remember to pass the ball in just so I wouldn't look bad. Lamar's health isn't great right now, and I'd be shocked if he was on drugs at the time. Number 2. Alexei Shved shoots over the backboard. Alexei Shved, a veteran, made a mistake this time. He looks like he's driving to the basket usually, but when he goes up for the layup, which looks like a hook shot, it goes about 20 feet over the basket. He was in the lane, and I don't know where he went wrong, but it looked like he was trying to give a fan a free ball. That's the only answer I can think of that makes sense, since the play makes no sense. He might have been trying to avoid being stopped. You don't have to throw the ball as hard as you can to get it past a shot blocker. Who knows? Maybe we should ask Alexei about it. Number 1. Tony Parker airballs a free throw. Tony Parker not only missed the free throw, but he also shot it straight up into the air. He must have made the NBA's smallest free throw ever. He seemed to be careful on the free throw, which is strange since no one is trying to stop it. You have to shoot it, you know? It's crazy that the ball landed about 5 feet in front of him. Another move that's hard to understand and can only be explained by asking the player. In this case, Tony Parker. The most surprising thing about the play is that Tony Parker wrote it himself. It's rare for an expert with so much experience to make such a simple mistake. Even a beginner would have a hard time making such a mistake. That's all for today. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more.